Hey family, I'm so glad y'all here. I wanted to make a quick video to explain or answer the question of why we chose to do IVF. Um, First, I want to put some things out here. I think that some folks have some misconceptions about IVF, about the reason behind it, about what it's for, and about who needs it or not. And I just want to clear all of that up. The first thing I want to say is that IVF, and I'll say it this way: infertility is not just a white woman's issue. Now, I'm all here for my sisters. I support us. I love us, and I love all of my friends. Um, but I think that there is some misconception on both sides of the aisle that that Black women or women of color don't have this struggle in common with white women. And sad to say, we do. So I just want to say that infertility is not a white woman issue. Infertility is a woman's issue. Um, Infertility also is not a class issue. There are women that suffer from infertility that are in all different, multimillionaires to, you know, tens of thousandaires. So it's not a class issue. It is a woman issue. So I just want to put that out there. As far as why we chose to do IVF, I just want to give you guys a little bit of our story. Um, if you don't know, my husband and I have been married for 12 years. We have been actively pursuing um, family expansion for 10 of those 12 years. And as you know, I mean, you get married, you don't really think about it, but I have never, and let me just put this out here, I have never ever been on birth control since the day I was married. Like orthosep who, okay? And I just want to, so there was no birth control. I've never been on a depot shot. I've never had any sort of preventative measure put in place. We have not used condoms outside of some fun, but listen, that's a little personal. But not, as a preventative measure. So I'm saying we've never been um, actively working to prevent pregnancy. So I want to put that out there. Um, so we weren't doing anything to stop pregnancy. We didn't start actively pursuing pregnancy. So we were married in 2007. And then around 2009, after we bought our first home, is when we started to actively pursue pregnancy. Um, at that time, I wasn't considered geriatric. I was in my late 20s. I was only like 29. And so we had a little time to, pursue pregnancy. And so we started right away with going to a fertility specialist. And this is so crazy, this sequence of how things happen. We started off with this lovely Asian doctor named Dr. Katsuyama. I will never forget this man because he had a phenomenal practice. He was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And he started us out with IUI. And if you don't know what IUI is intrauterine insemination. And that's basically where they take sperm from the man. They wash it. They call it washing. I don't know what that process is like. Just saying. But they wash it and then they inseminate you at the height of your fertility, whatever. So basically it's, putting sperm right there in the uterus, hoping that everything happens, right? Um, and I went to Dr. Katsuyama because he had the most reasonable prices in the state. Like this guy was like well known, renowned, all of this. We did several cycles of IUI with him and tragedy struck and the doctor literally passed away. He passed away. His practice was consumed by different doctors and different things like this, and the practice went away. So here we were having done several IUIs, but had, now we needed to find a new clinic. So we did our research and we found a second doctor. Her name was Dr. Deborah Shell. She also was in Milwaukee, and she was just really aggressive, really, really aggressive with like the medications and all of this. And at the time, I think I was still young enough that I wasn't quite ready for the level of aggression that she was like pushing the protocol on me. And then on top of that, I didn't like their customer service. And at the time, I had the luxury just because time was on my side. And I keep saying that because it matters. It's really critical. So I decided, you know what? I don't like how they do things. I don't want to see them anymore. We stopped with them because one, the medical expenses were mounting. Two, I felt like we weren't really getting the momentum that I wanted and it just wasn't working out. So we stopped seeing her. Then we got a referral from one of my husband's coworkers to Dr. Oh my God. I can't remember his name, but there was another doctor. He was out of Freighter in Milwaukee. He worked at the medical college, right? So we were seeing this doctor, and I was so excited because it was a black male doctor. And I'm a little biased. I mean, I prefer my professionals to look like me just because I feel like they care for me better because they care more about me. I don't know. It's my own little thing. We all have our biases. Y'all will be all right. You know I love you. So anyway, I was excited about him. I went to see him, but so we did a lot of tests with him. They did a dye test to check if my fallopian tubes were open. We had a lot of things done with him. The issue that happened with him is that we were getting so many medical bills. Like the bills were so ridiculous. We were getting billed from Freighter. We were getting billed from the Medical College of Wisconsin. And then on top of that, we were getting billed from the physician and then like an assisting physician. We were like getting bills from everybody for just going in and having a test done. And so we just didn't have the money to continue in this. And let me pause right here because this is a common issue that a lot of women have when they're going down this sort of process. I didn't answer the question of why. So I'm gonna just put a pin in that. I'm gonna pick that up in a little minute. Why did we choose to go with IVF? Well, no, we hadn't got to IVF yet. But years have gone by. So I mean at this point we're probably in 2011. So we had been in this process for about 2 years. But we just couldn't get the momentum with the doctors, right? We couldn't get the momentum with the doctors. And so Dio decided to go back to school for law. So he wanted to get his law degree. And so we ended up moving from Milwaukee to Madison. And I found a doctor there. Her name was Dr. Sanaa. And I was so excited because she was a black woman doctor. And I was like, oh, she about to get me pregnant. And I was seeing her and things were going okay. We had our initial appointments. We were progressing with things. And then she decided not to practice medicine anymore. Like she went into research and it just felt at the time, this final doctor, something else happening. It just felt like it wasn't the right time to pursue this. Maybe the Lord was like, don't do it. Right. And so I just felt like we needed to stop because the process of trying to get pregnant was making life difficult. Like it just was not exciting. I mean, sex became a chore. I was taking all kinds of medication. My weight was constantly up and down and it was just a mess. So we decided to stop right around 2012. So, 2012, I was 32. So we had been on this journey for 3 years with no success. Now let me pick up this pen I had put down. Why IVF? Because a lot of people think that getting pregnant is easy. Girl. Child. Child. Let me just say this to everybody who thinks that all you got to do is knock some boots and you can get pregnant easily. That is not the story for every woman. Everybody is not fertile myrtle. Everybody ain't gonna get like you breathed on and then they end up knocked up. That's not the story for everyone. So I really just want to solicit and elicit some compassion, especially for women going through this IVF process or this or are on some sort of trying to conceive journey, because it's not easy for us. Um, there are so many reasons for a woman's infertility. There are women who have had trauma in that area, and so there are women who have had tilted uteruses. They gotta have a surgery before they can carry. There are women who have had blocked tubes and issues and scarring on their tubes, and so they have to have some sort of surgery done on their tubes in order to open them up so that the egg will flow down. Right? There's endometriosis, right? There's all kinds of issues that I just can't even think of off the top of my head, but I'm telling you, there's a myriad of reasons why a woman would be infertile. And that is not even counting male infertility. Men have issues with fertility, things like motility, which is how fast their sperm move, right? Or clumping. Some men have, their sperm come out, but all their boys are just like blocked up and locked up together, so they just kind of like knock each other in the head and fall out at some point when the woman's body's rejected. They never travel up because they just get confused and get stuck. So there's so many reasons why a woman would need to go through some sort of fertility treatment. So let me just put that out there. So please don't think that it's just as easy, because there are some foolish things that we say in society to women who are trying to conceive, thinking that we're giving good advice, unbeknownst to us that we're the ones that are actually ignorant of the issue. And I'm going to tell you just a couple of these things that you don't want to say to somebody, right? Like, here's a few. Have you tried this position or that position? Have you been checking your basal body temperature? Have you been checking when you ovulate? Have you ever just considered just forgetting about everything? Get a bottle of wine, get somewhere on a sandy beach with your husband, just throw caution to the wind, and voila, baby magic. Um, yeah, stuff like that happens on honeymoons. Because why? Because you did all that on your honeymoon. And most people come back with honeymoon babies if you're not on some sort of birth control. If you don't have some sort of fertility, issue. Because what do newlyweds do? They be frolicking. Newlyweds frolic. And we were not different from other newlyweds. So, and I don't think we're different from any other married couple. I mean, it goes down. So there's no problem. Most people are not having problem with sex. Um, so really that's not really good advice. You know, most women also that are going through the trying to conceive journey, friends, let me tell you, these women are doing their research. They are asking critical questions. They are checking their body. Let me tell you some of the things that I had to go through on my journey. Honey, waking up every morning before I got out of bed, I had a thermometer in my mouth, checking and tracking my basal body temperature. I bought a $200 ovulation predictor kit, and I was out, honey, peeing on a stick 20 out of 30 days a month to make sure that, to see where my ovulation is. So many things. Honey, I was trying to have sex with my husband every chance I got, and he thought something wasn't right with me. So I'm just saying, listen, there's nothing that you're going to say. If you are a woman who has not had a struggle with trying to conceive children, that is going to be helpful information to a woman that has been on this TTC journey. So I just want to put that out there. Um, we chose IVF because it was simply time. So let me just put my pen back. Um, in 2014, we got pregnant spontaneously. So excited. So excited. I was a year away from being geriatric. um, and we were so excited. I felt like I was pregnant, and it was like I just knew it. I feel like most women when they're pregnant, they really know. Um, and I just knew it. I was like, I swear this is the longest lasting PMS known to men. So what I ended up doing is I I waited out. I don't know. I told myself like on a Monday I was gonna take this pregnancy test, which I don't know what Monday was about, but I don't know. It was the beginning of the week. I decided to test. So I tested. I got my positive. Oh, we're so excited. We're so excited. I called and I scheduled my first doctor's visit. That would have been scheduled the following Monday, so a week from the date. By Friday, I was miscarrying. I miscarried at work. It was pretty traumatic, and it was rough because I mean, like before it could even really sink in that I'm actually pregnant, I was already losing the baby. And so that was really heartbreaking in 2014. So we thought, because people say, well, once you get pregnant, you can get pregnant, and so it shouldn't be difficult to get pregnant again, right? So we thought, well, okay, we got, a little time still, right? I'm 34. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But I thought we had a little bit more time to get pregnant. Well, 2015 rolled around, no pregnancy. 2006 16 rolled around, no pregnancy. And then in 2017, my husband took a position here in Texas, and so we relocated to Texas. And at that time, I was like, okay, it's time to pick up the gauntlet. The girl is 37. I got 3 years before I turn 40. We need to turn the heat up on this baby making game because it's been too long. And by then I was ready to just, I was ready to throw the kitchen sink at trying to conceive because me tracking my ovulation, it wasn't working. Me drinking a good bottle of wine and putting it down on my husband wasn't working. And I promise you, it ain't no lingerie that's gonna get you pregnant, honey. So it wasn't working. Whatever I was doing, it wasn't working. So right away, I started to seek out, someone here, and that's really the reason why I chose to do IVF. I was over 35. Um, we had already gone through several different um, fertility procedures. I mean, I had been on Clomid, and all the other, different fertility drugs. I had, we had done it all. We had done IUI, we had done timed intercourse. We had done, all of these numbers of things that you can do to try and get pregnant. And then we tried forgetting about it, not thinking about it for years, and we still didn't get pregnant. So by the time we decided to do IVF, it was just time to just throw the book at it. Like, we're going all in. So that's why we decided to do IVF. Um, as far as issues that we have individually, I won't share my husband's issues because he's asked to keep, his business private. For me, I had polycystic ovary syndrome. And that's basically where you have an issue with you develop cysts on your ovaries, and then your body doesn't ovulate regularly. So I could go months without releasing an egg. Um, I don't know what happened, but like probably 3 years ago, it just corrected itself, but I still didn't get pregnant. So, yeah, that is the answer to the question of why IVF. Again, I just got to say, I am so excited to have each and every one of you on this journey with me. I'll definitely be releasing more videos and talking more to y'all about this experience as we start to have those doctor visits and things like that. I think I have a couple of more weeks before my cycle starts. Why am I telling you this? Because when the cycle starts, the process starts. So I just want to give y'all a heads up. More coming soon. But now you know why I chose to do IVF. Love y'all. Bye.